Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, May 11th. Let's take a look at what kind of news we got coming out today. All right, we have, come down to here. We had PPI and unemployment and core PPI at 8:30, natural gas at 10. So the news is behind us. Natural gas, although I know does correlate to crude oil, I don't expect that to be much of a reason for choppiness this morning. That's not to say that won't be a choppy morning, but I don't think news will be the cause of it. So nice uptrend overnight that we're now pulling away from. We'll have to see where we'll start paying attention, look for some areas to go long. Overnights have been pretty active, and right before the opening has been pretty active. I'm starting to consider getting on and not only just looking at doing homework, but watching for some trade opportunities. Like right now, I'd be interested in taking a short if we had a bounce back up into this consolidation, this swing here, this 48.04, 48.05, or a little lower. But anyhow, let's get started. Let's get everything in place. And I'm thinking maybe I'm going to try to find a way to automate the moving of these levels so that, I'm going to grab them off of my other chart. So you will see them move. And then once I've placed them where they need to go, at this point, you guys know what I'm moving. You know that I'm moving these, what levels I'm shifting and where they're going. And once I have them in place, we'll take a look at that, take a look at it a little bit more. Okay, so let's find now overnight high. Last thing I need to find is my overnight VPOC. Okay. So, excuse me. So I've marked off my value area high, value area low, and VPOC from yesterday, which is a bit away from here. We are trading right at yesterday's high, so right at the idea of a gap. So it looks like, excuse me, looks like we would not have, right now we would not have a gap, but we're right near it, and something's going to change between now and the open. So let's get looking at our homework. So first things first, let's watch and see if there are any levels that were breached that need to come off the chart. We see yesterday that we have come through this gap zone, traded through it completely. I'm actually going to leave all levels on here except these two. I'm taking this one off. I'm taking this one off. We see how nicely this naked VPOC and this swing level held at yesterday's high. I'm going to adjust it down to yesterday's high. And then down here, I'm going to take the level to mark off yesterday's low. Okay. I'm not going to be moving our micro composite VPOC. Oh, speaking of which, I did move the wrong thing. Let's get this down. All right, there we go. Let's see where we are currently trading. 47.73. All right, so we have 170. Okay, this is good. Let's start checking out some homework opportunities. I have a feeling my pen's not working as usual in the morning, so let me just get that started. Okay, 47.73. So let's see what that's doing here. So as we were saying, we're right at yesterday's high. So what we're going to be looking for is going to be a push down, test yesterday's high. If we can hold that, then we're going to look to see if we can't get to yesterday's value area high and into yesterday's value area, try to traverse back through this gap, ultimately coming to test yesterday's VPOC. And value area lows right beneath it here at yesterday's low. So that's going to be our hypo one, kind of traversing back down towards where we moved from yesterday. Hypo 2. Hypo 2 is going to be a break above yesterday's high, holding it as support, getting through overnight VPOC, going towards overnight high, and if we can get above there, we're going to start watching to see if we can't reach this swing up here at 48.60. And if this can hold, look for a push up higher into this former VPOC. It's going to be hypo 2. And last but not least, test to overnight high hold, turn back down to get into yesterday's value area, and see if we can't make a run down towards yesterday's VPOC overnight low. It's going to be hypo 3. Okay, that's going to be it for the oil. Let's get this out of the way. Take a look at yesterday's S&P. And again, let us start by adjusting some lines here. Value area high, VPOC, value area low, overnight high, overnight low, which we're trading right next to now. It looks like there's an overnight VPOC in here. Yeah. And overnight VPOC. Okay. So let's take a look. We are traded down overnight. We are inventory net short, something we're definitely going to pay attention to, assuming we stay that way. Let's go bring in our hourly chart. So again, we are trading at the top end of this previous micro composite here, but now I'm going to start paying attention to possibly draw out another micro composite. In fact, we're going to draw out another micro composite for these 3 days that we've been in balance. And let's see where we are overnight. 89.75. Okay. Pretty much right at overnight VPOC. So let's start looking. Well, actually, for me, this one's pretty simple. I'm looking at an open, push up to test this microcomposite VPOC, turn down, get down out of yesterday's range, which we're going to mark off in just a second, and a push down to this VPOC here. Let's let me give us a little bit more room to do this homework. Sorry. And while I'm at it, let's mark off yesterday's low and yesterday's high. There are no levels that are drawn in. I'm not sure where this level is coming from, so we're going to get this out of the way. That should have been removed here. Okay. So now our homework is our first hypo is going to be an open, push higher, test yesterday's VPOC, this microcomposite VPOC, turn down, make its way through overnight low, test VPOC, test microcomposite VPOC from this microcomposite. That's going to be hypo 1. The hypo 2 is this upside down. Hypo 2 is push down, test this microcomposite VPOC, hold, push back up, make its way to test this microcomposite VPOC. That's hypo 2. Hypo 3 is going to be a hold around overnight low, this naked VPOC, turn back up and start making a push towards all-time high. That's going to be 3. And that is, actually, there is a nice number 4 here too. Open, fail at value area high yesterday, turn down, and instead of stopping at this microcomposite VPOC, come test value area low, or even all the way down to this previous swing. Fix that for. All right, that's it for the S&P. And let's just get this out of the way. See what time we have. Oh, we got plenty of time for the open. I'm going to pause this, and I'll get it back on when we get closer to the open. All right, we have just about 2 minutes to the open. We've gotten a nice pullback up. Remember when we were doing the homework, we were just starting to come down. We bounced off a value area low here from overnight value area low, and we've now made our way all the way back up to overnight VPOC. The BBs are actually showing a bearish sign here. They're showing the hidden divergence where price. Oh, my pen needs to be restarted again. Price is going down while BBs are going up in the same time frames. That's now this one does not. The 1597 does not have hidden divergence, but 2 of the 3 do. Now, I am not one to just trade off of hidden divergence. It's just something that I do try to be. I just try to be aware of as much as I can, to tell you the truth. So basically, the idea, as long as we stay below this high, we have what's called hidden divergence. Once we break this high, that concept is gone because now you have the BBs and price matching. So the BBs would be a little bit extended ahead of price, but they would be matching in the sense that you have a higher high compared to this swing here, and you would also have a higher high compared to these swings in the BBs as well. But right now, I am looking for a short opportunity here. Let's see what happens here. Kind of right where I'm looking for the 4803. I'm actually going to take a. I am going to try to take a short here. More of a momentum play than anything else. I'm not scaling. I'm just going to be paying attention right now just to see if it looks as if the buyers are going to step back in and try to push. But the idea here for me was a pullback up to this swing and this swing, kind of the shoulders of the head and shoulder, looking for that to hold this resistance and at least give us another push down. Not necessarily down to break this last swing low here, not necessarily down to here. In fact, let's get this profit target out of the way, and we can always manage it by using the keyboard. Yeah, not the yes. See who steps in there. Okay, there are some sellers. Buyers came right back in there. Sellers have been able to stop this little move up here, but not really what I was looking for. I was looking for a bit of a more of a momentum push down. When we initially in the that second candle there, when we initially failed and turned down, I was looking for more of a momentum push down, which we did not get. So in a bit of a stalemate here, much less confident in this trade than the reason I'm not scaling in is because that is exactly what this trade was based on, was the idea of that momentum push. I don't want to take more on here. In fact, I probably really should be considering closing this trade if we don't see sellers give it a go here. See if we can get below VWAP. It's a little early in the day, in my opinion, for VWAP, but it is still a level that other people watch, so it's one I always have an interest in what happens around there. Sitting right at overnight VPOC here. See if we can't push down. So we tried going higher at the open, not by much, but we tried going higher. That failed. We tried pushing lower. That failed. We then tried going higher again. That failed. Now let's see if we can make another push down towards the current low of day and see what happens if we get there. Last time we got there, the buyers pushed it back up fairly quickly. Now, I want to be careful not to get chopped up here, but if we look to push down, or really we don't look to push down, and we start seeing some buy, I'm going to close this out. Okay, we see some buying start stepping in. I'm much more interested in potentially looking for a long now. However, I don't really have much to go on. That the initial trade idea, that momentum push didn't happen. Um, no harm, no foul. Couple of ticks. Now just kind of gotta wait and see. On the S&P, I have we have all these lines kind of one on top of another. That doesn't necessarily make it more relevant, but I just wanted to kind of point out it might look like an extremely relevant price point. The truth is, I can probably not probably. Truth is, I can remove one. Although I don't want to. How about that? I will remove this line. Okay, that's better. And see what happens if we try to push lower here. Again, you look at just before the open, go back to what, 7 o'clock, let's say. We have a high of 48.16, come over to almost 840, 47.68, 52, it's a 48 tick, 48 tick range, so I would have expected a little bit more range here. It's a little early still, but very, very choppy. So last time we were down here, we went a little further, and then buyers stepped back in, which right now seems to be what is happening. Again, that can change in an instant. Excuse me. Let's see if we let our trade go too early. Although again, my reasoning for the trade really kind of faded away there. So I was accelerating down here. Still only we have a 20 tick range for the day. Not horrible for this early. I mean, don't it should be could be quite a bit more, but um, both extremes happened at a bit of a wick until now. Now this has been a more slow push down. No, I'm sorry. 13 tick range, not a 20 tick range. Sorry. So we're gonna stay on the side here. So testing the low of day. Again, this is just like yesterday. Very, very slow moving. Don't really have a good trade setup to even describe for you here. You know, buyer stepping in, holding this area, you could be aggressive and take a long, see if we'll travel back up to the other end of today's range. Seller stepping in, breaking through this low. I don't like taking breakout trades, so I wouldn't mess around with that. But it seems like every tick down is being fought for. Not much to do here. Well, the original idea ultimately uh, panned out. Still not honestly enough to have made a 10 tick profit from our entry. We got it at 96 if I remember right. That this is the beginning of a decent candlestick setup. We have to see what happens in this candle. Don't want to get myself impatient here though. Okay, well there goes that candlestick setup. Candle would have to come up and close more bullish. Another push by the buyers down here, but held off. Okay. So decent candlestick setup for a long here, but that's about the only part about it that makes it decent for a long. BBs are certainly not. We are testing the zero line on all the BBs. Remember, the zero line could act as support and resistance as well. So we're testing it on each one of them. You don't usually see that, actually. At least I don't usually see that. Nothing really doing. Okay. Push down through the low. Heading in towards yesterday's high to close the gap right here. Excuse me. Really strong reaction there by the buyers on that last push. So we have a little micro double bottom there in those last two candles. Just a quick glance, excuse me, over here on the S&P. Again, inventory is almost completely net short. We have overnight VPOC, we have overnight low down here, along with a couple of other previous swing levels. So I would like to see if we can get a nice little pullback here at the open. I would definitely look to be trying to go long down in that area. Push back up here to VWAP. Couple of strong bullish candles. Really in no man's land here. Let's see what we get here at VWAP. So far, sellers defending here. Buyers keep pushing here. Coming back up to the original area where we were talking. So if you remember earlier during the homework, we had talked about looking to get a short up on a pullback to about 48.03, which I guess I really should have been scaling in there. I kind of took my eye off of that. I added in the idea of the momentum trade, but I kind of took off my eye of the fact that we like this for a pullback just because of the, let me pull it up, because of the overall look of the chart here. You know, we have this nice uptrend. Finally, we get a lower high here, a lower low, and we were looking for a pullback to stop short of the high and turn back down. So I guess I really should have scaled into there. So still stuck in this range here. I mean, not 20 ticks should 20 tick range is enough for us to get some opportunities, but that's more so trading from the extremes, or if we get lucky, finding a pullback. Like in this case, you know, this pullback to VWAP. If we can push down a little bit, and let's just say we think this is a good short opportunity, you know, catching a short for the next leg down, and if we are going to continue to retrace this move, the idea now is, again, if we can get a lower high here, we would then break this low, creating a lower low, and ultimately break this low, creating a lower low, and seeing where it is we can get to. Now, I would like to see us try that, get to yesterday's high, and ultimately push to value area low. However, that is not what is currently taking place. We do have negative divergence at the top here in the 610 and the 987. Definitely, I shouldn't say definitely, but most likely, if we were to make a test of that again right now, we would be showing negative divergence. We have large bids and offers together here, so there's nothing is really glaring. Bids stepping up. Now, of course, the other end of this would be that we push, get above this current high, get above this swing high, and then we have overnight high as our target in the next level that we're going to try to see if it would hold as resistance. Another slightly unfortunate example of how I talk about planning is one thing, executing is another. I believe I actually said 4803 exactly during the homework, somewhere back here, saying if we can get a pullback to 4803, we're going to look for a short, and I just didn't do it. About a minute till the equities open. Maybe that will give us some action. Just to show you here, since we started pushing back up, not one candle's low has broken the previous candle's low. And that's actually something that I'm watching for now. Okay, so there's the first. Not enough yet for me to just want to jump in on a short here. Okay, so S&P is opened. I'm looking to go long on a pullback down towards overnight VPOC. In fact, watch what I'm going to do here. We're going to put an order in. And let's just kind of get it where I would be looking to go long on a pullback to here. So I'm putting my order out ahead of time. And also still looking for a short here in oil. Not down here. I'm not looking to enter the trade here, at least not now. The setup could change where we would think 47.96 is a good short entry, but just not the way it is right now. But what I'd like to see here is a push up in the next few candles and then look for my short opportunity. And S&P did not give us that pullback opportunity here. So unfortunately, no good entry in the S&P. I do think we're gonna make a push back up, getting into yesterday's value area. Now we are gonna watch value area low here from yesterday. We are gonna look to see if this does hold as resistance, and we do get a setup for a short. We would be willing to adjust our mindset if that were to happen. What I'm more expecting, however, is that we're going to push through it and make our way up towards yesterday's VPOC and yesterday's close and overnight high. Let's get that order out of there. Don't need that right now. And there goes the S&P, testing value area low. Meanwhile, oil pushing down lower. BBs do say that we could get a further push down here. Oh, I'm watching S&P here. So right now, really, I'm looking at both of these for a potential long opportunity. So not quite getting the deep pullback in S&P just yet. And oil is testing this little previous swing here. Well, making its way further down, back towards low of day. You see BBs are starting to get ahead of themselves again. We're starting to get to a lower low in the BBs without being at a lower low in the price yet. Let's see if oil can make a stronger push down. No positive divergence here, so not expecting this to be the end of the move. And I am starting to watch S&P now. Starting to pay attention here. We're getting to yesterday's VPOC, a couple of previous swings, and yesterday's value area low. I am looking for an opportunity to go long here, or in this case, a reason. I'm going to watch the order flow, see if we can't start hitting these bids and what they do if we do. And right now we are not. So I'm going to start my long. I would be willing to scale in here. Oil did create a double bottom right here at the current low of day. EVs definitely looked like they were showing that we were going to push further down. Let's see if I can't get my second contract here in S&P. Okay. BB still reading positive divergence in the S&P. Let's see if we can't get the buyers on the S&P start making its way one more time to come test value area low. Sitting right at overnight VPOC here. So won't be surprised to get a little choppiness in this area. Last time we were in this area overnight, we kind of hung out in here for a while, put in some volume. Oil is making another push at the low of day. Still, in my opinion, it does look like that will want to break. We do have a little bit of hidden divergence here, but again, once we break that, that kind of goes away. So a couple ticks away from closing the gap. Okay, so we are in our third position. I should say third contract. Still have positive divergence on the first two of the BBs, the 1597 and the 2584 in the S&P. Don't have it in the 4181. Just closed the gap here on crude. Sorry to be bouncing back and forth, but I am trying to pay attention to both here. Let's see. Everything through 89. Still pushing down here on the S&P. Does not look like this one's going to work out in our favor. Big push off the low of day here in crude. So got through yesterday's high, pushed right back above it. We're going to watch to see if this is going to start forming any type of support area for us. All right, we're out of the S&P trade. Actually, the timing of this works out well because I do kind of have to run. Shoot, I really want to be here for this right now. But finally getting some activity. All right, as much as I do want to stay here, I do have to run. All right, guys, as always, if you have any questions, get in touch. Not a one trade went against us today, not much going on. Other than that, I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.